The Manuscript of Madness. In the quiet, historic town of Blackwood, nestled between ancient, whispering forests and a long-abandoned quarry, there stood an old library known as the Athenaeum. This library was famous for its rare collection of books and manuscripts, some of which dated back to the medieval ages. Scholars and researchers from all over the world visited the Athenaeum, seeking knowledge and the thrill of discovering forgotten histories. Among the library staff was a young librarian named Jonathan Hale. He was passionate about literature and history, often losing himself in the pages of ancient texts. One stormy evening, as the wind howled outside and rain lashed against the windows, Jonathan discovered a hidden compartment in one of the old wooden shelves. Inside, he found a dusty, leather-bound manuscript tied with a red ribbon. Its cover was adorned with strange, intricate symbols that seemed to writhe and shift when glanced at from the corner of one's eye. Intrigued, Jonathan untied the ribbon and opened the manuscript. The first page was inscribed with a warning in elaborate, spidery handwriting. To the reader, beware. The words within these pages are cursed. Once read, they cannot be forgotten. Proceed at your own peril. Ignoring the warning, Jonathan turned the page and began to read. The manuscript told the story of an ancient cult that worshipped a malevolent deity known as the Whispering Darkness. The cult believed that by inscribing the deity's dark secrets and forbidden knowledge into a manuscript, they could summon the deity and gain immense power. However, those who read the manuscript would be driven mad, their souls consumed by the whispering darkness. As Jonathan read further, he felt an unsettling chill creeping up his spine. The words seemed to pulse and throb on the page, and the air around him grew thick and oppressive. He heard faint whispers, almost imperceptible, echoing in the corners of the room. Shaking off his discomfort, he continued to read, unable to resist the manuscript's pull. Over the following days, Jonathan's behavior began to change. He became increasingly withdrawn and paranoid, his eyes darting nervously as if seeing things others could not. His colleagues at the library noticed his gaunt appearance and the dark circles under his eyes, but he brushed off their concerns, insisting he was fine. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, invading his thoughts and dreams. He saw shadowy figures lurking in the periphery of his vision, their eyes gleaming with malevolent intent. At night, he was tormented by nightmares of a vast, consuming darkness that swallowed everything in its path. Desperate for answers, Jonathan delved deeper into the manuscript, hoping to find a way to break the curse. He discovered that the only way to dispel the whispering darkness was to burn the manuscript and all copies of it. But the more he read, the more the manuscript's dark power took hold of him, warping his mind and blurring the line between reality and nightmare. One night, Jonathan woke to find himself standing in the library's forbidden section, the manuscript clutched in his trembling hands. The shadows around him writhed and twisted, taking on grotesque forms. The whispers were now deafening, a cacophony of voices urging him to embrace the darkness. Driven to the brink of madness, Jonathan fled the library and sought out the town's oldest resident, a reclusive historian named Dr. Evelyn Thorne. She had once been a respected scholar, but after an unexplained incident years ago, she had withdrawn from society, living in isolation at the edge of the forest. Jonathan arrived at Dr. Thorne's dilapidated house, clutching the manuscript tightly. He explained his plight, and Dr. Thorne's eyes widened with recognition and fear. She revealed that she had encountered the manuscript years ago and had barely escaped its clutches. She warned Jonathan that the curse was nearly impossible to break, but they had to try. Together, they devised a plan to destroy the manuscript. They gathered the necessary materials for a ritual that would cleanse the manuscript and banish the whispering darkness. As they prepared, the air grew thick with an oppressive, otherworldly presence. The shadows around them deepened, and the whispers became a chorus of maddening voices. At midnight, under a blood-red moon, they began the ritual. Dr. Thorne chanted incantations in an ancient, forgotten language, while Jonathan held the manuscript over a pyre they had constructed. As the flames grew higher, the shadows writhed and lashed out, desperate to prevent the destruction of their dark anchor. With a final, desperate effort, Jonathan threw the manuscript into the fire. The flames roared to life, and the shadows let out a collective scream of rage and despair. The air vibrated with dark energy, and the ground trembled beneath them. But as the manuscript burned, the oppressive presence began to lift, and the whispers faded into silence. Exhausted and shaken, Jonathan and Dr. Thorne watched as the last remnants of the manuscript turned to ash. The curse was broken, and the whispering darkness was banished. Jonathan felt the weight lift from his mind, the maddening whispers gone at last. In the days that followed, Jonathan returned to the library, determined to ensure that no other cursed relics would threaten the town again. He and Dr. Thorne formed a secret society dedicated to identifying and neutralizing such artifacts, protecting the world from the dark forces hidden within forgotten pages. The story of the Manuscript of Madness became a cautionary tale in Blackwood, a reminder of the dangers that lurk in the shadows of forgotten history. And though the whispering darkness was banished, the memory of its malevolent power remained, a testament to the enduring horror of cursed letters and manuscripts.